Hi, this is day 2 of our journey. So yesterday I gave you an introduction that I'm going to do 35 videos. So in case you didn't listen to that, you should look for that. So welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Red Rose Urban Missionary, and I'm here to take you on a 35 days journey into my life. And remember, I talked about how the aim of these videos is for you to have an idea or to have a glimpse of who Red Rose is, but beyond that to sort of see God in all that I have become and all that I've gone through. So the first video, obviously, I don't want to recap, but I talked about when I was born, where I was born, and so on. Today, I'd like to talk about my education. All right. So I started school, like I said, I didn't say. I started school from Chaisa. We used to call them welfare. Okay, so they were like nursery school by then. I started I don't know if it was nursery school or welfare when I was, I think, 4 years, if not 5 years. And one of my fond memories of that is what my teacher by then used to do. Every time, obviously, we used to take food with us to school. That was in Chaisa. And what this teacher always used to tell us, which was amazing, was that, share your food with people that don't have. And I remember that she would open everyone's lunch boxes and just remove stuff and share with everyone else. And guess what she would do? She would come straight to my lunch box and get half of my food, and she would eat it. When I was young, I didn't understand why she used to always get in my lunch box, but I understood later that my food was very nice. That's why, she used to jump in my lunch box to eat with me, which was fine. But I think, obviously, she taught me that it's important to share whatever you have. So fast forward from there, I started my primary school at St. Monica's Basic. I remember going for I don't know what you call them, tests before you are enrolled. I went at 2 schools and I was accepted at both of them, and I had to think about, okay, which one should I go for, and I opted for Material Girls because it was a girls' school, it was a Catholic school. Catholic schools are dope like that. And yeah, that's how I spent my 7 years of my life. That is from 1992 to 1998. And I had a lovely time there. I met amazing people. And one of my fond memories, which I'll talk about in the other part when I talk about my rap, is because my brother taught me how to rap. So when I was at St. Monica's, I had an opportunity to rap during a variety show, which attracted a lot of people, not only from school. I was in grade 6 or so, not only from school but from the community, and most of those guys were my brother's friends. So I went there because I loved to rap, and I did my bars, and oh my god, the school went on fire. Like, it went down like that. But beyond that, what really satisfied me was when I reached home and my brother was super proud of me. Shout out to Peace G, my brother. He was like super proud of me. He told me that he was proud of me, that he heard about how I rapped and it was amazing, and it's like his friends were admiring that he had an amazing young sister like me. Oh my god, like I was so fulfilled by then, at that time. And guess what he told me? He said, okay, from now on, like, I'll be helping you do better rhymes. I'll get all the swag that you need for your appearances. Wasn't that just amazing? Like, my brother was just off the hizo. So that's what he did, and he fulfilled his words. Obviously, I'll talk more about that. So yeah, that was one of the amazing stuff about my primary school. And I was one of those sort of brainy children, like, the top 3 throughout, and I had amazing relationships with teachers and so on. And St. Monica's was just amazing school for me, and I look back and I thank God that he directed me to that school. Fast forward, I went to Material Girls. Oh my goodness, where oh my god, there was a lot of stuff that happened to me. First of all, at Material Girls, that's when I started to notice the boys. Obviously, I won't get into that. Secondly, but most important, is I gave my life to Christ when I was in my secondary school. not from my school, but during that period when I was in grade 9. That's when I gave my life to Christ. I'll talk about that later when I talk about the church that helped, that facilitated that. So yeah, so I gave my life to Christ. I remember vividly in grade 9 that I used to spend a lot of time fasting, and I remember that the person that I used to eat with used to feel a bit sad that she would bring food, but I would refuse. But I was so much on fire for Jesus that I used to fast at least 3 times a week, and that brought me so much fulfillment. I'll be able to talk about some of the things that I did during that season, but I will pack it for the other day when I talk about that. So also at Mature Girls, you know, after before actually I gave my life to Christ, I had an opportunity to share a stage. You know, I always talk about this with Daddy Zimas and Mainza. You know, I was in grade 9 by then, and there was this amazing, there was this big function, variety show by then. Obviously, it was amazing by then, you know, before I gave my life to Christ. And I was just selected from my class because I used to take music, and people heard from Semonkas that I used to rap. I was one of the few that was selected to go and represent Mature Girls at Mature Boys. And guess what? The house went down. And of course, my brother was there and was like, oh my God, that's my young sister. Shout out to you, Peace G, if you're watching. So yeah, so those are some of the memories of Mature Girls. But Mature Girls, thank God, God preserved me, because if it hadn't been for God, oh my God, I was going to go astray. That's why God had to help me receive Christ when I was in grade 9. So even when I decided to get the attention of the boys, you know, at least my relationship with God was sorted. Obviously, from Mature Girls, I held different leadership positions. I think all my life pretty much I was either Montres prefect, and which was just amazing. But what is at Mature Girls as well, by the grace of God, I initiated the club called Faweza, Forum for African Women Educationalists in Zambia. You know, so this is the time that it came to Mature Girls, and I tried to put people together, and I was selected as president. I was also in debates, though I never used to like to debate. I used to like to be the chairperson so that I could chuck the noisemakers out. And yeah, so those are some of the memories I had at Mature Girls. And also I remember at some point where I wasn't doing well financially, but God made the way and gave me an opportunity to start selling in the tuck shop because I was good at math. So guess what? Selling in the tuck shop meant that I used to have free lunch all the time. That was, I think, grade 11 and grade 12. And I just thank God that for me in my life, I've seen God provide from the time, I think before even I was in the womb, God has literally provided for me. So here I am challenging you, adolescents or young people. If you are still at primary school, if you are still at secondary school, please stick to Jesus, because Jesus will be able to protect you from all this drama that is happening. I have opportunities to interact with people at primary school and at secondary school. And what is happening in schools is just crazy, lesbianism, homosexuality, prostitution, and so on and so forth, but I'm here to encourage you that if you didn't give Christ your heart, this is a time to let Christ enter your heart and let him be your personal Lord and also Savior, so that he can guide you through everything that you do. For me, he did it for me. I got saved, and he literally watched over me until today. I'm 35 years old and you're watching me, you know what I mean? So yeah, so this is day 2. See you on day 3.